Hey, what's up everybody? It's Casey here, it's here on Fly and Tackle. Today we're going to do a pink salmon twitching jig, one that I like to call Pinky's Revenge. Okay, so for this jig, I've taken a Compleat Angler 1/4 ounce glow white jig head. It's a new color for us at the shop. Nice to have some more glow options on the wall. And I like glow for overcast days, any kind of low light conditions, whether it's early in the morning, as we get into the evening. A glow jig head can be a really nice option to have in the box, but you can also tie it with some other colors as well, pinks and orange, chartreuse, that sort of thing, whatever your favorite colors are for pink salmon. For tying thread, I'm going to use some UTC 140 denier fluorescent pink. And I'm going to lay down a thread base just about halfway down the hook shank. Might even be half, doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to thread a grub tail onto the back of this, so I want to leave a good portion of this hook shank bare so that I can slide that on and accommodate that at the end. First thing we're going to tie in is going to be some Hareline UV Polar Chenille in hot pink UV. We'll just fasten this in with our tying thread by the core, and we'll give that thread a good amount of pressure to secure that into place. Now I'm going to palmer it. While manipulating those fibers back. And I'm just going to give it 4 wraps. This is going to be a nice, quick jig to tie. We've got potentially millions and millions and millions and millions of these things coming up the river. It's good to have a variety or a bunch of these on hand. If when the fishing's hot, we can fly through some gear pretty quick. So nice quick jig, fills the box fast. Next I'm going to tie in one of each Strung Schlappen by OfishL in the color fluorescent pink and fluorescent Cerise. So with these feathers, I'm just going to strip off the real fluffy stuff at the bottom. I don't mind having a little bit of it there. It gives it some movement, a little bit of length, but I don't want the real dense fluffy stuff at the bottom there. I'm going to do that with both color feathers. And I'm just going to lay them one over top of the other. It doesn't matter which order that you tie them in. We'll stroke some of the fibers back towards the tips, and that just gives us a tie-in point. And we'll fasten that in right behind that polar chenille. Again, we're going to palmer these forward, manipulating those hackle fibers back towards the rear of the hook, just like we were with that chenille. And we'll wind that forward until we hit the jig head. Having the two colors just kind of gives you a bit of a mottled kind of appearance. I like the look of it. A little bit of contrast in there. To clean things up at the collar, I'm just going to take a little bit of Hareline ice dub in the color Chartreuse. And you can use other colors as well, orange, pink. I like to have some color options in there. I find that having something that just looks a little bit different from all the other pink stuff that they're seeing can definitely help your lure stand out and just break up the monotony a little bit. Sometimes, if the bite turns off for a minute, throwing a different color on can just be a confidence thing. Try something different and it can just kind of change your attitude. If you got confidence in what you're fishing, then you're going to catch more fish. So just put a little bit of that dubbing in there just to hide that tie off point and those thread wraps and everything like that. Just cleans it up a little bit. And we'll whip finish our thread. Second time for good luck. We'll trim that off. And then for a grub tail, I'm just going to take a 3-inch Mr. Twister in the color Meeny. And all we're going to do with this guy is just poke the hook through. We'll slide it up the hook shank. And there we have a very nice, effective twitching jig with a lot of movement, great profile, something that's going to stand out and grab those fish's attention. Now, like I said, you can play with your jig head colors, and you can do it with other colors as well in the body materials as well. Like it's a very simple, versatile jig. Why I use a 1/4 ounce jig head is a lot of times these pink salmon, they're found in fairly shallow water, higher up in the water column, depending on where we're fishing for them. Say like the tidal Fraser, for example, even off beaches. You don't have to get super deep generally to catch these fish. They're quite high in the water column. Where you tend to be using lighter gear. So not to say that you can't use a 3 ounce or a 1/2 ounce jig if you want to cast out a little bit more distance, but if you've got lighter gear, then it's nicer to cast this lighter jig and work it, and it'll still be very, very, very effective. So hope you guys like this one. Like always, I will have all the materials linked in the description below. Hit that like button for me, share it with your friends, subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already, if you like these videos and you find all this stuff that we're doing here useful. And appreciate you guys for watching. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you for the next one.